Debate resumed on the anti-gang legislation in the upper house of the parliament today. Opposition Senator Saddam Hussein, in his contribution to the debate, is asking the Attorney General to consider some additions from what already exists in legislation in Kenya. The incision he is hoping for will allow the government, through the Attorney General, to identify publicly and declare certain organizations criminal gangs, thereby making it easier for the police to target and prosecute persons who themselves publicly identify and associate with these groups. Senator Hussein notes that it will also serve as a deterrent for persons seeking to join such gangs, since you can face the courts for associating with criminal gangs.
He may, on the advice of the Commissioner of Police, by notice declare that specified group an organized criminal group for the purposes of this act. So what you're actually doing is now you're actually putting notice into the public of who the gangs are, so that they will now know not to associate themselves with these individuals. And this makes it much easier to prove gang membership, because once you can show that the police associates with this declared gang, then they commit an offense. So I would ask the Attorney General to look at that.
The time has come to look at the anti-gang legislation outside of the context of street gangs. This, according to independent Senator Sophia Chote. While contributing to the debate on the anti-gang legislation in the Senate, she said the country needs the legislation, but it must be looked at differently as there are various levels of gangs.
I don't see why we should create a piece of legislation that is not capable of applying across the board to any gang, regardless of where they locate themselves, whether in or out of the country, whether their members change, or whether they do high-level business or low-level business.
Senator Chote said legislation should allow for the prosecution of any person operating within a gang. Otherwise, the parliament would have enacted legislation that only deals with street gangs. She said that would not be enough.
I can get to the point where I respectfully suggest that the definition of gang suggested by Senator Richards should be adopted, because that's an example of more modern legislation where you talk about gangs in the context of being criminal organizations to do different things. And you get away from the circularity in the wording, which may cause trouble further down the road in terms of interpretation.